1 year ago, Stony Brook University set a goal to take center stage, to demonstrate our potential to change lives and the world. What a year it's been, unleashing ambition and exceeding expectations.
Stony Brook University is making the grade, now considered one of the best colleges in the country.
Stony Brook is now ranked number 1 among public universities in New York, 26th among public universities, and 58th among national universities. Our highest rankings ever from U.S. News and World Report. Stony Brook Medicine named one of America's top 50 hospitals by Health Grades. Selected as the anchor institution of the New York Climate Exchange, the first of its kind climate solution center on Governor's Island.
I'm proud to announce we have selected a team by Stony Brook University to deliver the New York Climate Exchange, and I deserve a round of applause.
Trusted with the Simons Foundation's $500 million unrestricted endowment gift, the largest of its kind in the history of higher education.
A substantial investment that reflects the Simons Foundation's deep partnership with Stony Brook and underscores our endorsement of your tremendous vision. There's no better institution for this investment.
Chosen by the best and brightest students from around the world to fuel their passions and dreams.
I officially declare those standing in front of me as the inaugural class of the Simon STEM Scholars. Congratulations, y'all. We did it.
Recognized for innovation and excellence. Home to today and tomorrow's research pioneers and world-renowned breakthrough prize winners.
Stony Brook has no limits. There is nothing we cannot do. And that is why you are unstoppable. You are absolutely unstoppable. I guarantee across the world they've all heard of Stony Brook right now.
Today the world views Stony Brook in a different light. There's no stopping us now. Watch what we do next.
Wow, all of that in just the past year. It's hard to believe. We welcomed the inaugural class of Simon STEM Scholars. We were selected as the anchor institution for Governor's Island, tasked with building the groundbreaking New York Climate Exchange. We achieved our highest ever rankings from U.S. News and World Report. New York's number 1, 26th among public universities, and 58th nationally. Our hospital was one of America's 50 best hospitals in 2023, putting us in the top 1%. We garnered our highest state funding in more than a decade, and we received a $500 million endowment gift from the Simons Foundation, the largest unrestricted endowment donation in the history of U.S. higher education. So last year, I stood in this same spot and said, now is the time for Stony Brook University to take center stage, and that together we would determine how far we'd go. Well, Stony Brook, here we are a year later on center stage, and look how far we've come. So how did we do it? Well, it was no accident. It was all part of a plan created in close collaboration with faculty, staff, and administrators across the institution, combined with a new and welcome level of support from the government and institutions across New York who believe in Stony Brook's mission, who trust us to make a difference. So let's take time today to delve into what we've achieved, what we're doing today, and then let's address the most important question: what's next? So let's step back and look at the road we took to get to center stage. In the summer of 2020, the financial future of Stony Brook University was alarming. We were confronted with entrenched budget issues that were reaching a breaking point. There were significant reductions in state support, declining revenue from student enrollment, and rising costs. And as if that weren't enough, we, like universities everywhere, had to navigate the realities of the pandemic, transitioning to remote learning, implementing new telehealth options, and trying our best to keep morale high while taking care of our community's health and academic pursuits. In the middle of all that, I arrived at Stony Brook, excited to learn more about our innovative research, growing healthcare enterprise, and uniquely dynamic community. But our world had shut down. And instead of making my way around campus in person, I made do with Zoom. During this period, like many of you, I spent a lot of time alone, thinking, pondering, worrying, developing the kind of rituals some might call idiosyncratic, others neurotic, that many of us formed as a way to order the days and feel structure in a time of uncertainty. So I started each day by walking my dog along either West Meadow or Flax Pond beaches. And I began collecting rocks. White rocks, each a blank canvas upon which I could write a key priority for Stony Brook. And then eventually I put these rocks on my desk to help focus my mind on what we needed to do. Like you, I have myriad daily distractions, but these rocks serve as potent reminders that amidst the chaos, I must remain focused on the big stuff. So my first rock called on me to figure out how to improve our financial position. Of course, I knew I couldn't do it alone, and I was determined to communicate honestly and clearly about our financial future, to entrust each and every member of our community with the hard truths about our situation and the necessity of collaborating on solutions. And this community rose to the challenge. Individuals and groups across our campus at every level contributed great ideas. And through the Strategic Budget Initiative, we came up with new ways to partner and leverage our resources to cut costs and generate new revenue and improve the way we work. We have followed through on the recommendations from this process, and it's inspiring to see the progress we've made and the work that we continue to do. Part of that effort was to work with our allies, including SUNY Chancellor Dr. John King, to advocate for Stony Brook in Albany. And it paid off. In the last state budget, we received the largest increase in state support in more than a decade. In addition to an increase in base funding and additional support for capital, the state created a 1-to-2 endowment matching program for the 4 SUNY University centers. For Stony Brook, that means that if we raise $400 million over the next 3 years, we will receive an additional $200 million in endowment matching funds from the state. And that leads me to Jim and Marilyn Simons and the Simons Foundation, who are helping to ensure that we meet that goal. On June 1st, we announced the incredible news, a $500 million endowment pledge the largest unrestricted endowment gift in the history of higher education. So let me say that again. The largest unrestricted gift in the history of American higher education here at Stony Brook. A gift of this magnitude is remarkable, but an unrestricted gift of this size is unprecedented, signaling a trust in Stony Brook as the flagship of the future. From their first gift of $750 in 1983, Jim and Marilyn Simons and the Simons Foundation have given Stony Brook 40 years of support, collaboration, and partnership. This gift's value will build over the coming years and be a game changer for Stony Brook's future. As a young university, our endowment stands today at around $400 million, nearly the smallest of any of the leading research universities in the AAU. But as a result of this gift and the built-in state and gift matching requirements, in 7 years, we will have added over $1 billion to Stony Brook's endowment. To start, we must raise another $200 million from alumni, friends, and supporters over the next 3 years. Raising endowment support on this scale will require the effort of our entire community. So together, let's empower Stony Brook to make a difference for generations to follow and shape the future of discovery and innovation. I know we can do it because we already are. The Simons gift has sparked excitement, enthusiasm, and support. I would like to thank everyone who has placed their faith and trust in us this year. Jim and Marilyn Simons, the Simons Foundation, and its president, David Spergel, for your decades of friendship and transformational support. Governor Kathy Hochul and the New York State Legislature for your investment in Stony Brook, helping us to become the flagship that the great state of New York deserves. And our many friends and supporters, past, present, and future. So another rock I added to our desk was our bid to become the anchor institution for the New York Climate Exchange on Governor's Island. Why? Because this project is a natural fit for Stony Brook University, which has always stepped up to tackle big questions and help solve the world's most pressing challenges. For example, decades ago, bald eagles disappeared from Long Island. In fact, they were critically endangered throughout the lower 48 states. The reason for the birds' decline was DDT, a pesticide that was liberally sprayed to control mosquitoes, and that was weakening their shells so that eggs couldn't hatch. By 1972, the eagle population had decreased by 90% in the US. But now, as I walk my dog along the beach in the morning looking for rocks, I also make sure to look up, because beginning just this year, I frequently see a pair of bald eagles soaring majestically through the skies above West Meadow Beach. The eagle's triumphant return on Long Island and across the country is due in large part to the research and advocacy of Stony Brook professor and environmental scientist, the late Charles Worcester. Working with Stony Brook, with other Stony Brook and Brookhaven scientists, Worcester launched a legal battle to end the spraying of the pesticide, and soon after, they founded the Environmental Defense Fund. And while it took more than 50 years, bald eagles are once again patrolling Long Island's shoreline. So look up along West Meadow, and maybe you'll see them. So in many ways, the New York Climate Exchange is both the culmination of our long legacy of leadership in sustainability and climate science, as well as a milestone in our history of amplifying diverse voices, equitable STEM, and multidisciplinary solutions for a problem as urgent and deep-seated as climate change. A holistic approach is imperative, and that is why we have fostered such a robust group of partners to build an ecosystem on Governor's Island, a living laboratory focused on climate education for K-12, undergraduate and graduate students, workforce training, research, commercialization, and public engagement. We are ready to lead and are grateful to the Trust for Governor's Island for selecting us for this incredible opportunity. Our priorities are always evolving. Last year, I added 3 new rocks to my collection. These are guideposts that I believe will help keep us focused and collectively drive us to the next level of institutional excellence. Recognition, revenue, and reputation. As my leadership team knows, I refer to these as the 3 R's. Recognition is all about celebrating the amazing faculty and staff who are building a culture of ambition and excellence at Stony Brook. They are the ones who have led the way. And it is essential that we continue to foster a culture of gratitude for all our valuable campus members. This fall, we launched several initiatives focused on employee recognition, including our first ever Stony Awards. On November 29th, we'll hold a ceremony to recognize those staff and faculty who have gone above and beyond. In addition, we'll host a new fall lecture series aimed at highlighting the amazing research of our SUNY distinguished professors. And a little more than a month ago, we unveiled our Thank a Seawolf program. That might sound like a small thing, but the program is clearly resonating on our campus because people are sending gratitude grams in a steady stream because they want their colleagues to know that their efforts are appreciated and valued. So thank you to the thousands of incredible staff, faculty, and healthcare workers on this campus who inspire others and who are building the future for Stony Brook University. You show all of us what it means to be part of a powerful team. And thankfully, we have a stellar team, staff, students, and faculty who are ready to work together and meet new, complex challenges every day. So let's keep this momentum going. My second rock is for revenue. Despite the enormous progress we've made in addressing our revenue challenges, including the move to an all-funds budget and the additional state support, we need to remain focused on revenue to secure the viability of the enterprise. In addition to raising the matching funds that will build our endowment, we will look for ways to secure the ongoing support we need to maintain operations and grow. This includes continued advocacy in Albany and working to create and grow the programs that attract students, supporting our faculty in their commercialization priorities, and strengthening our healthcare system. So the third R is for reputation. I never want to hear again, Stony Brook University is one of the best kept secrets in higher ed. We've done a lot this past year to change that, and we'll continue to build our reputation by letting the world know that we are New York's #1 public, a flagship institution, a top healthcare system, and one of the most exciting research universities in the world. So we can look back on our historic year with enormous satisfaction and pride, but we have no intention of resting on our laurels. So what's happening at Stony Brook now? A lot, obviously too much to cover here, but let me share some of what we are doing to bring the 3 R's to life. Last week, we shared Stony Brook's strategic plan, which was developed with cross-disciplinary collaboration from students, faculty, and staff through the Strategic Budget Initiative and Project REACH. In these conversations, we heard clearly that our campus community was looking for a way to unleash our ambitions. It was looking for a way to drive excellence, discovery, and innovation, and it believed that this was our moment to take the university to the next level. This next generation of students is the future. And so I'd like to shout out to my class here in the front row in my Leadership and Ethics Organization class this semester. They're here today, a little nervous that I just called them out. But I can tell you that my conversations with them leave me feeling so confident in our next generation of leaders. And that is significant because today's students will be tasked with helping to solve some of the most pernicious challenges facing us. Their ability to collaborate, create, and innovate may mean the difference for our collective future. For issues as complex as the ones we currently face, climate change, aging, a deeply polarized society, health disparities, and so much more, will need to harness the world's talent. We want to ensure that all talented scholars, regardless of background, have an opportunity to thrive. There are so many programs designed to ensure that all sea wolves are set up for success, including ones that identify and address college preparedness gaps early on. We want each and every new student to feel equipped to make their dreams reality. The Educational Opportunity Program, for example, offers a supportive summer bridge program with workshops, peer mentoring, and courses on campus. We have once again been celebrated as a national leader in equitable education and socioeconomic mobility. Just last month, the New York Times ranked Stony Brook number 16 on its College Access Index, the highest ranked of all AAU institutions. The graduation rates of our Pell Grant recipients, students who qualify for the most federal financial aid, have actually equaled or exceeded the graduation rates of our non-Pell students, a statistic almost unheard of at other institutions where there is often a 5 to 10% gap. And the earnings of our alumni are competitive, with many students graduating in high-demand fields. 10 years after graduation, those with a bachelor's degree earn an average of $85,000, and graduates with master's and doctoral degrees are earning well over $100,000. We want all of our students not only to graduate, but also to thrive while they are here on campus and when they step out into the world. One of the pillars of our strategic plan is transforming teaching and learning. And we must continue to cultivate the experiential learning opportunities that help students connect what they are learning in the classroom with the careers they might ultimately pursue. And in this effort, I'd like to recognize and thank Chancellor King for the Chancellor's Summer Research Excellence Fund, which enabled Stony Brook students, along with students from other SUNY campuses, to participate in a 10-week internship program at Brookhaven National Laboratory, our partner of over 25 years, where they were mentored by some of the most eminent scientists in the field. And I'd also like to recognize our Career Center for its recent launch of the Center for Service Learning and Community Service, which connects students with experiential opportunities such as internships and community-minded experiential learning and coursework. Recent graduate Jen Lee's service learning project led her to help create the Long Island Hunger Report that will be integral to finding effective hunger solutions in our area. Our community also said that they wanted to strengthen our spirit of unity and foster a greater sense of tradition on campus. Through the Places and Spaces concept, our student affairs team has been promoting connection through physical spaces like the new Club Hub, a 7,500 square foot space for connecting, gaming, and unwinding. Campus traditions also bring people together, from a revamped homecoming to Earthstock, from Wolfie Land to our beloved Roth Regatta. And clearly, our students are leading the way. The football team's first game of the 2023 season attracted the biggest opening night crowd in the history of our institution, with more than 11,000 members of our community showing up to cheer on the Seawolves. As new members of the Coastal Athletic Association, we're announcing ourselves in style. Since joining, our teams have claimed 2 conference championships, and 313 student athletes made the 2023 CAA Spring Commissioner's Honor Roll, which recognizes academic excellence. So no matter whether we win or lose, but don't misunderstand me, we prefer to win, the success is in building community. And in my view, that opening night was a wonderful example of what we are building at Stony Brook University. Connection, partnership, unity, and an indomitable spirit. The foundation of Stony Brook's reputation is the top talent we cultivate on campus, the students who choose us, the staff and faculty who are trying new things, breaking new ground, and making a name for this school. So what are we doing right now to support our faculty and researchers? How are we advancing research that will make a positive impact? We have supported their aspirations through Tiger Teams, the Presidential Innovation and Excellence Fund, seed grants, and ambitious faculty-driven academic planning. That's how we were able to make real our initiatives in quantum, the Center for Healthy Aging, and our successful bid for Governor's Island, among others. These processes will help identify other areas where we can and must invest in order to further enhance our reach and reputation. And we know that to increase Stony Brook's impact globally, we must prioritize our ability to both attract exceptional faculty and provide the critical resources toward their groundbreaking research. In addition, we recognize that we should do more to foster our culture of innovation. So we recently launched our search for our first Chief Innovation Officer, a role that was created to support the ambitions of our researchers, faculty, and student entrepreneurs. Working closely with faculty, deans, and the Vice President for Research, the Chief Innovation Officer will oversee all our economic development efforts, including tech transfer and commercialization, industry partnerships, and economic impact. This work will enhance revenue and support the kind of research, scholarship, and artistry that advances societal change. We continue to be a university that supports the breadth of our disciplines, that believes in making a difference for humanity, that understands that much of our strength comes from the interaction across disciplines. Engineers and artists working together on the design of adaptive devices, collaborations that explore regeneration of teeth and skin, multidisciplinary teams focused on health equity. At the core of our disciplines is work to understand and improve the human condition. Our scholars who study language and culture, who both create and investigate our artistic output, who delve deeply into our place in the universe and who we are and why we think and behave the way we do. This fall, we welcomed our newest cohort of IDEA Fellows faculty. These fellows help strengthen the university's commitment to solutions-driven research and inclusive, equitable teaching. By recruiting based on thematic categories rather than disciplines, these fellows ensure that we are finding the leading scholars of the moment and taking a multidisciplinary approach to the critical problems of the day: health disparities, sustainable climate justice, Black, Latinx, and Indigenous diaspora studies, quantum futures, and ethical AI. Their research stretches from microplastics to precision medicine, from twistronics to indigenous representation. And they are opening new avenues of inquiry that link with other institutional priorities, like the creation of an Indigenous Studies Initiative and the newly formed Algonquin Library. We are witnessing a culture of faculty and researchers interested in asking important questions and addressing tough challenges. And we are at a pivotal moment in our institutional history, with 40% of our faculty eligible to retire within the next decade. So we're hiring. This year, we are welcoming 55 new tenured and tenure-track faculty and have ongoing searches for 78 more. And we will continue to budget for additional hires. As we renew our faculty, we will strengthen disciplinary expertise and recruit researchers and educators who are working at the spaces between disciplines, across boundaries, and forming multidisciplinary collaborations. The Presidential Innovation and Excellence, or PI Fund, has allowed us to recruit faculty of international prominence, including Nobel Prize winner Barry Barish and other innovators in their fields. One is Dr. Yvette Bahar, the new director of the Laufer Center for Physical and Quantitative Biology. Dr. Bahar's deep understanding of the interaction of biomolecules is fundamental to advancing treatments for complex diseases, from cancer to neurodegenerative disorders. We've also welcomed Endowed Chair of Economics, Dr. Kathleen McGarry, a proud Stony Brook University alumna, former senior economist at the White House Council of Economic Advisors and former chair of economics at UCLA. In addition to her celebrated work in the economics of elder care and well-being, Dr. McGarry is an advocate for underrepresented students in economics and is passionate about building the next generation of economists into the thoughtful, dynamic leaders we need. Many of our faculty are leading the way in building multidisciplinary approaches to important issues. I'm talking about projects like NeuroBlocks, born out of a collaboration with the CEO of Roblox, a gaming platform, which combines neurological research and computation in a space where brain disorder researchers can share, test, and refine their work before treating patients. NeuroBlocks is led by Professor Liliane Mujica-Parodi, who was recently named the Bozuki Endowed Chair for Metabolic Neuroscience. Imagine a future where people suffering from schizophrenia, dementia, or anorexia don't have to undergo the tumultuous trial and error period of treatment, because researchers have already simulated the options on an artificial brain. Imagine the lives it could change. That's what NeuroBlocks aims to do. I'm talking about critical initiatives like our coordinated fetal care program, which is doing life-saving work not only in the field of prenatal care, but also addressing healthcare equity gaps in fetal care on Long Island. And I'm talking about bold budding projects like the devices for quantum sensing and communication. Across the country, there is a race to lead in quantum. And Dr. Leon Shintarangas is forging a new way to develop photonic devices for quantum communication and sensing. And Eden Figueroa is building the longest quantum network testbed with funding from New York State, the federal government, and the Pi Fund. And I'm talking about building on our rich legacy of environmental research and advocacy. The new Collaborative for the Earth is a faculty-driven initiative that will further leverage Stony Brook's role as a climate solutions leader. The Collaborative has membership from almost every school and college. It represents a united effort, leveraging multiple disciplines and perspectives. We will attack climate change and develop equitable solutions from every angle: food sourcing, ecotoxins, the visualization of extreme weather, healthcare and equity, education, workforce development, housing policy, the list goes on. Dr. Kevin Reed's Climate Extremes Modeling Group, for example, has been collaborating across disciplines and departments to help predict extreme weather events. One of Dr. Reed's PhD students, Erica Bauer, has outlined current biases in computational models that will help us better understand extreme weather events and the effects of atmospheric warming. Dr. Chris Johnson, Stony Brook's Discovery Prize winner, is using vibrational spectroscopy to understand cloud formation with the groundbreaking idea that manufacturing clouds could temper the impact of climate change. Dr. Shenwei Mao is creating cost-effective and energy-efficient solutions to water pollution. And Dr. Liliana Davalos' research on species extinction in Madagascar follows in the footsteps of Dr. Worcester by alerting us to imminent species extinction. As a long-standing leader in conservation, we continue to develop solutions while simultaneously raising awareness of the inevitable consequences of our current path. The success of the New York Climate Exchange will rely on forward-thinking researchers like them. But saving our environment is not only a question of scientific discovery. It is a holistic effort relying on creativity across academic disciplines, institutions, and sectors. Art professor Nobuo Nagasawa creates public art projects that draw attention to infrastructure, ecology, and sustainability, and we hope to feature her work at the New York Climate Exchange. The School of Communication and Journalism and the Alda Center have worked with the US State Department's embassy in Beijing, researching the effectiveness of public messaging around air pollution. Such research is vitally important to help us translate scientific knowledge into concrete changes in human behavior. And in history, Professor Jennifer Anderson writes about the connection between our environment and our consumer desires. Her book, Mahogany, revealed how consumer obsessions 300 years ago led to the increased subjugation of enslaved workers and the destruction of wildlife habitats. As we bring the lessons of Dr. Anderson's work forward into the present, each of us should consider our consumer choices and their impact on our planet. And of course, we continue to lead fundamental research in nuclear and particle physics, photon sciences, and sustainable energy through our partnership with Brookhaven National Laboratory. We are thrilled to welcome the new director of BNL, leading theoretical physicist Joanne Hewitt. She is the first director of BNL to hold a joint tenured faculty appointment at Stony Brook. And I think this is a wonderful indication of the future of collaboration between our institutions and our continued leadership in these fields. And that leads us to the final piece I want to talk about today. Now that Stony Brook is standing in the spotlight on center stage, what's next? Well, one way to think about our historic year is that every one of our achievements is a challenge. Every one of our achievements demands that we step up and seize an unprecedented opportunity. What's next for Stony Brook means building a coalition in the New York Climate Exchange to make real and substantive progress on the global fight to slow climate change. A daunting challenge, one that might seem intractable, but one that we are uniquely suited to tackle. Because our history teaches us an important lesson. Tenacity, time, courage. It might have taken 50 years, but the bald eagles have returned. And at this moment, we must continue to have courage. We must have the courage to hope that working together we can make a difference. What's next for Stony Brook includes building out our Simons STEM Scholars Program, which is designed to provide a stellar educational experience to outstanding students interested in equity and inclusion in STEM. This remarkably talented first class of students in the top 1% nationally joined us this academic year. The Simon STEM Scholars Program, which provides communal living spaces, collaborative work and study, faculty guidance, peer mentorship, and a formative summer bridge program, is helping Stony Brook lead the next generation in scientific research while ensuring that the future of STEM research is inclusive, equitable, diverse, and collaborative. No university is better suited to host a program like this. We have an outstanding record of educating students from underrepresented backgrounds and an outstanding record in STEM research and teaching. With this program, we can ensure that STEM fields are open to the best and brightest scholars from every community, from every background. And of course, what's next for Stony Brook includes meeting the endowment challenge in front of us. The Simons Foundation gift challenges us to raise $200 million in the next 3 years to take full advantage of the foundation and the state matching funds. As we build a healthy endowment, we can plan for the future. As we build a healthy endowment, our horizons will continue to expand. With these resources, we will be able to invest in future opportunities, drive innovation, support our students, and strengthen our reputation as a leader, as a flagship. So clearly a lot can happen in a year at Stony Brook University. The New York Climate Exchange, the Simons STEM Scholars, a historic level of investment from the state to support flagship status, our highest rankings to date, a designation as one of America's top 50 hospitals and one of the top 10 hospitals in New York, the Simons Endowment gift. And of course, there was a whole lot more, including Distinguished Professor of Physics, Alexander Zhumolodchikov, winning the prestigious Breakthrough Prize. 9 students selected for Fulbrights, 9 NSF Career Awards. Our largest number of applications ever, more than any other SUNY school, our largest first-year class ever, and so much more. We did that. You did that. Last year, on this same stage, I talked to you about hopes and dreams. This year, many of those hopes and dreams are now realities. Last year, I said it was time to take center stage. And 12 months later, here we are, looking back on a historic year and looking ahead with excitement and well-deserved confidence. We have eradicated any doubt about whether we can achieve our grandest, loftiest goals. We are Stony Brook. We are Seawolves. Together, with collaboration, partnership, and commitment, we can take on the big challenges. We can make a difference. We can change the world. Stony Brook, welcome to What's Next.